Hello, everyone, and welcome back to 31 Days of Halloween on the Calvin Cam Podcast, the podcast where we talk about everything spooky and chilling. I'm Calvin.
And I'm Anthony, and today we have a horror documentary, Paranormal Activity. So let's get into it.
All right, everyone, we've made it. Your day 4 of 31 Days of Halloween. Thanks for sticking around with us as we learn to craft in this new realm of video podcasting.
Video podcast, new realm of creation, and we want to try to make it good and spooky and scary. It is Halloween.
Do you like the hand gestures? We'll keep them going.
If not,
we'll get rid of them.
We'll just ditch them.
Yeah, thanks for sticking with the adjust the cameras and the lights, because we're definitely not used to those, and we're not even used to ourselves yet. So we're figuring things out. But yeah, you've made it to day 4, and day 4 we are going to be talking about Paranormal Activity. Paranormal Activity is a very, very important film in the horror genre, and it has basically stemmed from movies like the Blair Witch Project.
Blair Witch Project definitely influences this film, I believe, for sure.
I mean, it's like the second film since that movie that did the found footage thing. So
yeah, that one was more shot on with a handy cam, and this one's kind of like still on a tripod, like shooting at night.
Yeah, and it's very, very good. This movie is insanely good, actually. The first movie spawned an entire franchise. So
yeah, isn't there like 5 films?
There's like 7.
Oh wow!
Like there's a lot of movies. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, The Ghost Dimension, The Marked Ones, and The Next of Kin.
Oh wow, there is a huge franchise for this for these films.
Yeah,
I just watched. This is the one that I watched to start off the whole franchise. This is the first one. That's the only one I've watched. So,
oh wow, well
yeah.
That's the only one that I was planning on talking about. So
okay.
Yeah, it was a very low budget film. The budget cost about $18,000.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's really, really cool, and they made out like bandits with $165 million.
Well, that shows you that okay, we're gonna make some serious cash from these films, so let's make some more of them.
Yeah, I mean, like obviously an incentive to keep going.
Yeah, that is definitely an incentive.
Especially, I mean, they were adopted by studios. I believe it was Warner Brothers who took in this franchise. Paranormal Activity is, like I said, very, very important film amongst this franchise just for that reason. Like, horror is a genre that is so unique where you can go in making a highly successful horror movie on such a low budget that it can get you where you need to go as a filmmaker.
Exactly. And that being said, like, look at George Romero's Night of the Living Dead back in the day. Like, that was all low budget, and he just went out there and shot it on a whim.
Yes, he did. And so many great effects too. Like, he really did an insane job. But Paranormal Activity, I feel like it follows in that manner of you don't need to spend a lot of money to make a really good movie. Mm-hmm. Especially like the cinematography work in this movie. Nothing really happens. Like, it's just like camera, tripod. There is some handy cam work, but it's a documentary film. So it's like
it's a documentary style film. So you have to expect that this is the style of cinematography you're going to get from this film.
You're trying to make it as realistic as possible to the average person filming in their home, you know? So this was, like I said, a really cool movie in that aspect. The original idea of this movie came from 3 people.
Okay.
That's all that worked on the film.
Oh, really?
Yeah, besides like a few extra actors and probably sound work, but there was 3 best friends, Katie Featherston, Mika Sloat, and the director is Oren Paley. And so they just decided they wanted to do something. They made this. It's only the 3 of them. And they pulled it off with an $18,000 budget. It's so fun. So awesome.
That is just crazy to think about, and how successful this franchise became like after it.
Yeah.
So.
For those of you who do not know, I'll give you a quick little rundown of what Paranormal Activity is. Yes, obviously it's a documentary style film, but it's about a couple who move into a house and basically start experiencing like supernatural stuff happening. And it's really cool the work that happens during the course of this film, like all the cabinets opening and
Yeah.
closing. But I know that sounds like so simple, but like it's the way that the suspense is built throughout this movie
Yeah.
that really makes it effective.
And I also noticed that as the movie progresses, as you go, deeper into the film, being I don't know how long the runtime is on this film, but it segmented it like night 1, night 2, night 3, night 4.
Yeah.
And every single night, it just gets darker and darker and darker, and it builds more suspense, I think.
Yeah, the suspense building.
That's what I personally think.
The movie, it's only about an hour and a half. Like it's a little under an hour and a half, I believe, which is perfect length for this type of film because like you don't want to drag something out that's this hard on the eyes because shaky cam is like it's hard to deal with when you're watching a movie for too long. So
yeah,
as we've seen from movies like Cloverfield, which has really shaky cam in it. I love that movie so much, but has extremely shaky cam in it. But even the Blair Witch Project, like
super shaky cam, if I can remember.
Super shaky. I love that movie, and I feel like obviously it revolutionized the horror genre in that way. But it's so shaky, like that, and you never really see anything.
No,
but it's good. But it's a good movie. It's a cult classic. Paranormal Activity, kind of along the same lines though. Like, I just think that it does such a good job with the less that it does in this movie is more.
Yeah,
and you really get to see that. One of the most iconic things in this movie is the nighttime sequences that you get to see on the camera as it fast forwards through the night. You see everything kind of sped up. You see a door in the background open, or you see Katie, who's the main character. Her like she gets up out of bed and she just stands next to the bed, like for a full 5 hours. Like, and you're just like, okay, that's creepy as shit.
Yeah.
Like, the couple bring in paranormal researchers or like
investigators.
I don't know if they did that in this one actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, but I think they bring in like a medium or somebody.
Yeah.
And they're like, this is fucked up.
I mean, it's not Ed and Lorraine Warren.
No.
In any standards, but
no. But they do that, and it kind of just opens up a whole case of like there's something really dark and serious happening in this, and then you kind of discover that it's more than just a regular haunting, and that it's kind of more demonic, and you find that it's like has a bigger connection to the main character Katie, and her background, and the rest of the films obviously in the franchise fully focus on that aspect of this story.
Okay, because I remember as the nights progress and it counts down, it seems like it gets more demonic, and it seems like Katie gets possessed at the end.
She does.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Full on possessed, and I think the last word in the movie is her yelling for Mika. And he comes running out of bed, and it's just that same camera that's sitting in the bedroom, and he goes out of the room towards her because she gets dragged out of the room. And he runs after her, and then you just see him disappear into the darkness, and then his body just dead, just flies
I remember
at the
that.
camera, knocks the camera over.
I remember she was grabbing hold of the door
Yeah.
I think, when she was being pulled out of it.
And then so he hits the camera falls on the ground, and then she walks towards the camera, and that's how the movie ends.
Yeah.
Really good movie. I think that for its time, it came out in 2007. I think it was perfect. I think it was everything that we needed in the horror genre, because we were getting kind of in that slump of getting used to the same old kind of basic horror movies. We had a couple of really good ideas back in the 2000s, but this was very revolutionary, and they showed it at film festivals before the movie was widely released, obviously, and it was such a successful hit at film festivals. Like it almost immediately got picked up, and even people, like so many outside sources came to this film festival and were just like, "This is the scariest experience you will have." I remember seeing the previews for this movie after it did get picked up and was going to release worldwide. The previews even showed the audience reactions, which was not, I never really saw that in any other movie trailer besides this movie. And now you see it pretty often with certain horror movies that come out, like Barbarian or what was that one that just came out? The Boogeyman. But the audience reactions, seeing that the audience was terrified in the movie trailer was just like, oh, I have to go watch this movie. As a horror fan, I have to see this. So
yeah, it just this genre just spawned and opened up like a bunch of stuff in terms of paranormal, people doing investigations and all, like ghost hunters and all these shows that spawned from this genre. It's just crazy that this film like kind of inspired a whole bunch of, different film creators that want to go out and do like paranormal research.
Yeah, it really started a movement.
Yeah. Because you have those guys, I believe their name is BuzzFeed on YouTube.
Yeah, BuzzFeed, yeah.
Yeah, those guys, they do like the same type of thing, but not like in a bedroom in like an actual just a confined area. They go out and do ghost hunting stuff. But
yeah, there's so many things that have come from this. So yeah, like Paranormal Activity is fantastic, and I think that I would review, like if I were to give a proper rating, I give this movie a 4 out of 5. Like I think that not only just for nostalgia factor, I think this movie's great.
yeah.
And call it a hot take or whatever, because it doesn't reach for the stars and do anything necessarily like special as far as like camera work goes, but it's very unique. So
Yeah, I think I would also give it 4 out of 5 because of the uniqueness for the genre. It like opens it up. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't do too much. It just it gives you suspense when it needs to give it to you, and I think that the acting from the actors was pretty convincing and good. I thought it was not bad, but
no, I thought they were great.
But
they were
yeah.
average people, and I really like you're meant to relate with that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So you give it a 4 or?
I say give it a 4 out of 5. Yes.
Sick. All right. We got some fun facts for you about the movie before we close the episode up. And
what facts do we have, Calvin?
we got some pretty fun ones in here actually, because I there are a couple in here that I didn't know. I did a lot of research about this movie like throughout my years. Like these are staple movies for Halloween for me. So it's a regular thing. So I know a lot about these movies already. But there's some fun facts in here that I wasn't aware of. Like Steven Spielberg. Steven Spielberg convinced the filmmakers to change the original ending.
Oh, wow. That's a huge influence by the GOAT, man.
Yeah, he was one of the people who actually saw the film in a film festival.
Wow.
And he eventually was able to convince them to change the final product.
I mean, if Steven if he reached out to us as filmmakers to say you should change this, it's like, man, Steven's giving us advice, man.
The actors weren't given a script, but were given guidelines on how to behave or what to discuss on their scenes. So it's very just wing it.
Yeah, kind of like this podcast has been.
Hey, you love us. But it's been, yeah, like that's really good improv for this movie, for these non-actor actors.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
Guess how long it took them to film this movie?
I don't know.
10 days.
10 days?
10 days.
Wow. I think, I don't remember what the Blair Witch Project was, but I think it was around less than a week.
Yeah.
Something
damn.
like that.
I mean, look at $165 million in 10 days. Like, I mean,
know,
obviously
man.
it was
That's just
over
like
time, but yeah.
That's just a huge fact right there. Like, geez, that just shows that, look at this, this movie and the impact it made, you know what I mean? Because it made huge impact.
Ooh, here's another fun fact about Steven Spielberg watching this movie.
Okay. Okay.
Steven Spielberg had to stop watching this movie about halfway through on his home screening because he was so spooked out by it.
Wow. Damn. It, like I said, this had a huge impact, even to him. That's crazy.
He said he completed it in daylight hours the next day. Yeah.
You know what? I feel like that with some movies,
Yeah.
man.
No, for real. Some things you just can't. Some things you just can't watch in the dark, dude.
I mean, I can't watch The Ring during the day or at night. I just can't.
It's pretty scary.
Yeah.
It's pretty scary. Let's see. So the entire movie was filmed in Oren Peli's own home.
That's cool.
So he didn't have to.
Well, that explains his budget being so small. He's like, I'll just shoot this at my house.
His own location.
He's like, I own location my house.
And let's see. DreamWorks wanted to remake the movie with a bigger budget and better known actors rather than release the film as it was. So obviously that didn't happen. But I mean, that's studios for you.
Yeah.
Let's see. Another one that's pretty funny is Katie and Mika received a reported $500 each for their performances.
Oh my God. Is that true?
Due to the success of the film, they renegotiated that amount.
Well, I would hope so. I would freaking hope so, man.
So it's just kind of funny. The movie doesn't contain any opening credits or any closing credits.
Yeah, I noticed that. That is kind of odd.
It's just there's a lot of fun facts about this movie. All the special effects were practically done in camera, enhanced by a director on his PC.
That's crazy to think about, dude.
It's just funny, man. Like
It is. Like, there really wasn't much shit back in 2007, man. I mean, I don't think even YouTube was even a thing back then, or it might have been.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was really small.
During the weekend of October 9th through the 11th, 2009, it reached number 4 at the U.S. box office while playing in only 160 theaters. So that's freaking awesome.
That's crazy. You're right. There is some really interesting, cool facts about this movie.
It's just as inspiring or aspiring filmmakers.
Inspiring and impactful.
Like,
it's crazy.
I appreciate this movie so much more just because of the making of this movie. It's just great. But yeah, there's a lot of fun facts out there. I'm going to stop it there because it goes on forever.
You can go down the rabbit
You
hole
can
for
go
fun facts on this movie.
Down the rabbit hole. I suggest you go check them out. They do really great fun facts on IMDb, and there's another website that we use that I cannot think of right now. But go check out some more fun facts about this movie, especially if you're a big fan of this franchise. There's a lot of really fun stuff for you to find out. But that's going to be it for today's episode. Thank you all very much for watching us, and thank you very much for supporting this.
Thanks a lot, everyone. We appreciate it, and we're working out the kinks on the episode.
We're getting it. It's looking better, right?
Yeah. Good night, everyone.
Thank you all so much for watching the Calvin Camp podcast. You can follow us on social media platforms like Instagram and Twitter. Go check us out on all audio streaming platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Amazon Music. We also have the Calvin Cam YouTube channel. Go over there, subscribe and like our videos and help us get bigger and better. You can also go help support us by going over to patreon.com and joining one of our patron tiers. We provide a lot of cool benefits, so would love to see you over there. And thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.